Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Rose.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
This is our Pluribus Season 1, Episode 8 reaction and review. I'll just say from the start here, this episode's really complicated, where I feel like there are a few singular events that happened. I don't think this is an episode where we're talking about 1,000 different plot points, but all of these points are really tricky because there's a lot to unpack emotionally when it comes to intentions and what people are feeling.
That's the biggest thing. It's about intentions. Like looking at this episode, I'm like, who's playing who? Is everybody playing each other? Is Carol playing Zosia? Zosia playing her?
Yeah.
Or are they think that they're playing each other, but really they're just falling for each other? And we are starting to get into some deeper parts of it. There were things that I had been waiting to see, and they actually started to touch in them in this episode. Like Carol actually digging through the joined to get to Zosia. What's your favorite food? Oh, it's mango ice cream. And here's the story behind it. That she's actually getting to know Zosia inside all of the joined.
And I think with that also comes this question of, is Zosia getting to know Zosia? And as weird as that sounds, there's a creeping in of possible individuality that's happening throughout this episode that could set the stage for some interesting stuff. Maybe not necessarily in the finale because there's not a lot of time left, but this show's already been renewed. I think Vince Gilligan and the whole team, they're really playing the long game with some of this stuff. But I think they're setting up some really fascinating and tricky things. Like, yeah, I don't think this episode had the same wow factor necessarily as episode 7, but I do feel like there's a lot of stuff here that we're going to be talking about, and it's going to be kind of one of those turning point episodes we examine really far down the line.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to top episode 7. It was the best episode of the season for me.
All right, well, we're going to get into everything that happened here. Manuso's continuing to not care whatsoever about the joined and anything that they're doing, but before we get any further into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we are here covering Pluribus, everything that is happening with this wonderful show. And moving into the new year, there is so much going on, including The Pit, which is coming back to HBO Max, Industry Season 4, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We are looking forward to covering all of these shows here at the channel.
Absolutely. So hit that subscribe button and make sure you stick with us and don't miss out.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for your support.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go tinfoil hat really early.
All right, we all have our tinfoil hats.
Okay. Is Zosia starting to become her own person? Because the moment in this episode that's really just crying out to me is her kissing Carol. And it's just the way in which it happened, where Carol didn't say, Zosia, can you kiss me? It wasn't a situation where, you know, full-on consent was given in that way. Now, Zosia could have read emotionally, this is something that Carol wanted, and the joined want to make Carol happy, but it's also a really big move to kiss someone without having that sort of assurance in the joint. They haven't struck me this season as a group that has that level of collective confidence that, okay, this is what this person is going to want at this particular moment.
Yeah, that's the thing. They have informational stuff about Carol, but knowing what she's feeling when she's feeling it is not something that they're able to tap into. It's something that they can maybe kind of try to assess, and they know that she was lonely enough to put out this message to be like, please come back, and they did, but they don't know for sure that that is where she's feeling with Zosia, that she's having an attraction, that she's starting to like care for this person, even though she doesn't know her as an individual. It is something that after this kiss happens, she does start to feel like, I need to actually get through all this and get to Zosia to see if this is the person that I'm actually interested in, or if I'm just lonely, because that's why this episode is so deliciously complicated. It really is the joined now playing her, being like, okay, we were gone for all this time. It broke Carol enough to ask for us to come back. cool, now we have this in a very different way now, that maybe we can try to build this relationship with Carol and see, test the waters, if there's something a little bit more going on here. Maybe that she would want to have more of an intimate relationship with Zosha. Let's just see where we can get to with it, because if we can pull her into Zosha, we can maybe get her to agree to the stem cell.
Yeah, that's the thing here. Now, there's a couple of different ideas bouncing around in my head as to what's really happening here. I mean, the one I obviously want, because I am a perpetual optimist in this way and I want to believe in love, is that a little part of the real Zosia is starting to peek through, because Carol, like you touched on, is asking her more and more personal questions, and doing that, maybe it's causing the join to lose a little bit less of their control, and maybe that's enabling her to make some decisions on her own without being fully conscious of it. But the other idea is the idea that, all right, the joined, they have access to Zosha's emotions in real time. Sort of like the real Zosia is stuck somewhere, trapped in a cage in her mind. And they can sort of look at her emotions, where they could see, oh, this real Zosia, who's still not able to actually act in this form, we can see that she's starting to get feelings for Carol. This means that we can act on those feelings, because it is still organic and kind of sort of human in that way. And that's something that Carol will then be a little bit receptive to.
Yeah, my worry, of course, is that because Carol started to kind of try to pull actual Zosha out
Mhm.
after they already went to bed together, that the joined, after Carol was broken, lonely, please come back, they came back, Zosha's there, is seemingly very happy, but also there's a little part of me that felt like they were a little smug that they got asked back, that it was like, see, you do need us. We are
Yes.
all here together. We are the thing that's going to make you happy. We knew it all along, but now you know it too. That this just felt like a manipulation, that the actual joined is like, okay, we can kind of feel that maybe there's an attraction there. We know for sure that she's lonely. She's
Yeah.
asked for us to come back. And we know that Zosha's the person that she's been connected to. We're just going to throw our hat in the ring here and see if this is another way to manipulate her to bring Carol in closer. I think it was fully thought out by the joined.
Yeah, and adding to all of this and talking about manipulations is Zosia starting to refer to herself in first person with I. Because at first, when this request is asked by Carol, Zosia really struggles with it. She kind of stutters, she can't figure out how to do it. And then all of a sudden, later this episode, I. She's starting to actually say these things out loud. Now, this could be, like you're suggesting, the joined using a manipulation tactic, where they're sort of suggesting that, oh, Carol is pulling this out of you, like you're going on this journey. And maybe this is the whole thought process here, to make Carol feel like she has this sense of proactive agency. That's one way to look at it. But the complicated way to look at it is, oh, maybe this is Zosia actually starting to get her way inside the joined's head here. Because can the joined really say I? And maybe that is why they were struggling early on.
Yeah, I really feel like it's because this is just difficult for the joined, because the joined is a we, for them to just start trying to change what they've been referring to themselves as, to be like, I'm an individual, that it's just difficult for them to make that change after all this time. And because they are a we, and there's a whole bunch of them in there, right? And I think it's also for the joined, they don't want to have any sort of individuality.
No.
So they don't want to start referring to themselves as I, but because it's a request, they have to do it. That is, been laid out on this show. Hey, what if I want a tank? Yes, that's just the way that it is. Whatever they want, Carol wants, that's what they get. So I think where it really does start to get a little more complicated is when they're getting back into the Why Carol books, where Carol's like, oh, here's my first new chapter. Oh, yeah, Raban is now a woman. Oh, are you doing it this way, that way? And you can see that the joined are getting really excited about it. They're like, man, we know everything on Earth.
Yeah.
So to have something new, very exciting, but for Zosha at that point, she has been saying I enough at that point, that I feel like that when she's like, I really liked it, it's hard to really pull apart if there's any of actual Zosia coming out at that point, or it's a command.
Yeah, and that's why if you're Carol at the end of this episode, you have to be unbelievably confused. And this brings us to psychoanalyzing Carol because there's a lot in this episode
Yeah.
with her. Because going into this, I will say I'm very surprised because I actually thought that she had just fully been broken at the end of episode 7, that she was just ready to fully be on Team Joined. Now, Manusos could have brought her out of it. I didn't
Yeah.
necessarily think that, oh, this is maybe another double deal on her part where she's doing this in part because she needs to join back in order to get answers. And we see with the whiteboard scenes that, all right, that is clearly a motivator here. You are partaking in a lot of the things they want to try to get their guard down. But I feel like as this episode goes on, she starts to become a little bit more flustered in her head about all of this, especially once we get to, oh, this old diner that holds all this significance for her, her writing career, it means so much to her. It's actually built, and she's having this moment with Zosia inside of it. I think she gets so emotionally overwhelmed because she does feel in that moment like, oh my God, this is so completely special. I am actually feeling these real feelings. I have to get out of here because I can't keep up this charade now.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that for Carol, it's just a lot more complicated. I feel that the Joined came back. They have one mission. The mission is
Yeah.
to bring Carol in. Carol broke, asked for them back. No problem. We're going to come back and we're going to use this as an opportunity to get Carol over to our side of things. And while there's the little bit of maybe maneuverability with Zosia, is she moving? Is she not moving? Maybe. But over on Carol's side, it is a mess at this point. Like, I think that she did break. I don't think that she's just completely faking that break, crying in her arms. I think that she broke, but that she also had this other side where she's like, okay, yeah, I'm broken. I've asked for them to come back. Well, now I'm going to use this as an opportunity to be able to see what I can learn from them, to try to put some pieces together and see if I can figure anything out before the clock runs out.
And this is why she's struggling so much near the end of this, because I think she's realizing, oh no, I actually am having some element of real feelings for this person, question mark. Is it a collective? What's going on within me? But I think she's also still being pulled in this direction of, oh, the Joined are bad. And I think that's reinforced further by, we get the whole scene where, yeah, Kepler 22b is brought up again, and we get into a little bit of the lore from the premiere, but it's also mentioned in here, they're building effectively this structure so that they can spread their goodwill elsewhere, which basically means all you aliens are about to get joined at the same time. So this is like,
let's go, aliens.
Your mission is not good enough, that the Martians all got to be happy here too now.
Why not? Why not spread that happiness throughout the universe? No, it's getting pretty big. I mean, they want to take over the whole universe. It's not just, hey, Earth is going to be just sort of the starting point. That, we've got enough people together here in the Join that we're able to sort of build this super antenna to be able to reach other places that have other people, other beings on it, that will be able to just continue on until we're all one.
And it's because of this particular end game in general that I'm sitting back here and feeling like it really doesn't matter to me who did this, who's responsible for it at this point. Yeah, it could be humans in the lab, how it got out there, how the RNA signal was bounced back, all that other stuff. Like, that to me is less significant, as is there a way in which to stop this? Because now there is this added amount of urgency where, yeah, Carol doesn't necessarily have an emotional attachment to go and save all the space aliens, but I think it's a reminder that, all right, these people are really, really dangerous. They are taking away the individuality of almost everyone. Maybe I'm getting an element of it out of Zosia, but it's a maybe. How much do I really trust what I'm seeing or feeling one way or another when I'm feeling a certain way about it?
Absolutely.
And now we get to Manusos, our messy, glorious king, Manusos.
He is such a king. I love him. He is my favorite character on the show besides Zosia. I really like Zosia, but I love him. I love that he is just like, okay, you guys, have saved me. I am on the operating table and I still don't care about you. I am
Yes.
still getting out of here. I'm going to get out of here any way that I have to get out of here. Give me the bill for what I owe. I owe you this much money. I will come back. Plus an ambulance, put it on my tab.
That whole scene was glorious. Like that the writing out of the bill was really, really funny. But then he has the everything has a price line, which I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is the first time I've ever heard that saying, but it was just so effective coming out of his mouth
Yep.
because this is somebody who clearly through his life experience, we don't know a ton about him. I hope we get more backstory as time goes on, but he's clearly of this vantage point that I know something bad is happening here. I know that what they're doing, there's another intention. I don't know a lot about all this happiness. There is a price tag associated with it. And so, ergo, I'm not trusting what they're doing for me here either. I'm going to continue to risk my sole existence finding a way to get to Carol, even though I nearly just died doing an incredibly dumb thing in the Darien Gap.
Absolutely. And he is still on his way to Carol. We've had Zosia that has been like, someone is coming, you're going to have a visitor and they're on their way. Here's the thing that I felt like was really missing from this episode for me with the Carol character. After what Carol did to Zosia, with the drugs and trying, against her will, all these different things. There was no apology for this. Like Carol's trying to be like, oh, humans should still go back to who they are and have their individuality, and what you're doing is wrong. Okay, well then you need to have accountability for what you did, which is wrong. Like I understand you want answers, and but these are still people that are trapped in here. This is people you're trying to save, and you did this thing to all the people that are joined here. So like there couldn't have been like an apology when she came back to just be like, you know what? I went about this the wrong way. It's not okay to do something without your consent.
Well, and that may be why, to get back to what you were talking about earlier, there is this potential manipulation still going on with the joint. Because if there hasn't been accountability from Carol's part, like they're clearly still capable, despite having this collective mind, of feeling a wide array of different emotions. It's why they get hurt so much by specific things that Carol does. I think they probably still have a little bit of distrust here because Carol's not showing that level of accountability. They're still trying to follow, I guess, their general mission here, but they're right to be a little bit worried still.
Well, here's the thing, like I'm really confused on the Carol character and what she's trying to do at this point. And I think I'm supposed to be, because I think Carol is confused about really where she is and what she's trying to do, where she's like, she wants to keep her own individuality. She wants them to have their own individuality, but at the same time, she's still like looking through her whiteboard and all the things that she's putting down. You can see that she has like contempt for some of the things that they're doing. They eat people. Okay, yeah, that's not great. They've explained why they're doing it and that they're kind of stuck in a situation that if they don't, they're all going to die. It is the only choice that they have. So they're choosing their choice. Yeah, it sucks, but what else are you going to do? Right? I mean, we've seen a million different shows like this, like a Yellow Jackets, where people are in these situations, or the movie Alive, where it's like, okay, you're in that situation. What are you going to do? You have to do what you have to do. And the joined feel like they are in that situation and they're doing what they have to do. But seeing Carol on the other side of this, where it's like, do you actually care about these people and what is going on? Or do you not care about what's going on and you just want what you want for yourself? So you're just choosing to bring everybody back so you can just have things the way you want. Bring back my sprouts. Make everything what I want when I want it.
I think Carol wants to be a hero, but she wants to be a hero in the way that she perceives a hero to be, which
is the hero of the story.
You're not wrong. He clearly has an actual directive versus Carol, I think, is just throwing things against the wall.
She's messy.
Yeah, she's trying to figure out what sticks and tries to figure out what she is okay with on a personal level because she's clearly a confused person. She's dealt with a lot of indecision in her life, including in her work, whereas Manusos, for whatever his flaws may be, he knows what he wants. He knows how to get it. And I think it's very interesting to speak more about, okay, does Zosia have even a tiny shred of individuality here the way in which the news is shared with Carol at the end of this episode, like you can tell there's real concern. If you go back to the start of the
Mhm.
season when they're willingly bringing Carol to these other people, none of that is there. It definitely feels a lot like, yeah, sure, you guys go and hang out, share stories, but here it's a lot of Carol, you're going to have a visitor. It's like there's worry that's there.
And there should be worry there. Manusis is the one person that they didn't find out about until way
Yeah.
later. He has spoken to no one. He will give them nothing. They don't know anything about him. They cannot get close to him at all. So, yeah, they should be worried. He is someone to worry about.
I am very much expecting a big cliffhanger in the finale. I'm just going to throw that out there
Yep.
right now. They knew they were going to get more. I
Yeah.
think Vince is going to challenge us. I have no idea what Carol's reaction is going to be when she realizes how far Manusos is willing to go.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Manuso show up. And at this point where Carol is, yes, she's still trying to figure things out, but I think she is getting in deep with Zosha. The fact that she was starting to dig in and be like, what's your favorite food? What's this?
Mhm.
What's that? Trying to actually get to Zosha inside of this join to have an individual relationship with that actual person in there. I think that, and now they've been intimate, I think it's going to be a very telling of that push and pull with Carol and Zosha once Manuso shows up and is like, hey, I'm here. I'm here to save the world and I'm here to do it with you. I am that person that you were looking for with these other people, but I'm the person and I'm going to do it.
And can you handle it? I mean, Vince, the job you have done this week of basically pulling our brains in half and making us
Yep.
question almost everything. It's really, really fun. We're incredibly excited to hear what you guys have to say about this episode, what you want to see in the finale. So
Yep.
be sure to share in the comments and hit that subscribe button so you do not miss any more Pluribus coverage that is coming up. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
your support, and we'll see you here next time.